Hi, this is the man from Modesto. I'm just going to read a series of 5 or 6 dreams, all pertaining to destruction and terrible events coming on the United States. February 13th, 1995. There's fighting in a semi-arid area. There are trees here and tangled brush. We clear out the remnants of some Japanese soldiers, and Japan is defeated, at least in this local area, but there are still individual Japanese soldiers to be dealt with. My fellows and I move through an area, but return to find a short Mexican. And I mean a Mexican, not just some Hispanic, so don't get mad at me if you're one of the people who gets offended by that. It's actually a Mexican national, Mexican soldier. He is armed and ready to fight. We volley without hitting each other, driving him off. A second Mexican appears, whom I capture and then use as a shield against an advancing Japanese soldier. I think that the Mexicans and Japanese work in conjunction somehow. November 14th, 1995. Something happens to the Earth's air. Pestilence saturates it. Some people know it will come, others don't know. Anarchy reigns. I see a religious person. He is tall with dark wavy hair. I offer to assist him and finally am allowed. He moves about, helping where he can. The earth remains in shadows throughout this time. We eventually are able to breathe again. Those initially forewarned, listen to this, it's going to sound just like the swine flu that's happening now in April. Those initially forewarned were small children in a classroom. At least one was a pudgy Hispanic boy. The children seemed to be racially diverse. So who was initially hit? Hispanics and children in schools. So there's that. We help an older couple get some crooks out of their house. They try to bribe the religious person, who declines. They have some food wrapped in plastic to protect it from the air. So there's a tip. There's some things you can glean from this, and one is things are moving through the air, and so people are wrapping their food to protect it. Okay, January 31st, 1996. I am imprisoned with another man. Germans are our captors. We are Americans. We escape by fooling a guard and killing several men. We escape but are promptly captured by Japanese in the mountains. Here I realize that there is a war against the Japanese, but not the Germans, who are secretly aiding the Japanese. So this is what's going to happen. At some point, there's going to be a war with China and Japan combined. The Germans are going to be helping them, but no one's going to know this. I've had another dream where I saw that England and Germany will stay out of the war. That'll be a separate video. We escape but are promptly captured. The Red Cross helps them escape. There's April 8th, 1996, an underground maze. There's secret government work here. There's something here like a UFO. I try to steal some books. There's a forklift worker who thinks I'm a special agent, but I'm not. There's something here relative to an artillery barrel for a special project. There's a lot of metal fabrication going on. Number 2, same night. There's a United Nations team member. He doesn't have any weapons. He flees a scene and goes into a building. The Australians are about to attack. There's a swimming pool inside. There are Russians involved, hand grenades, grenade launchers. See, May 12th, 1996. This is really interesting because this is happening right now. Today is May 1st. A table with objects on it. One is a gold picture frame with no photos, and the words May 12th is okay. I'm going to a wedding on that day for my cousin. Listen to the rest. I see several things, and then I think I should become a recluse for several years until it passes, and I see myself in a desert region with cliffs. There's advice that I should go with my cousin. There's a battle at this desert refuge, men in dark uniforms called soldados. We make booby traps. Okay, so important thing I want to say is, especially anybody who's recording their dreams, monitoring their dreams, you can hear what you're thinking in the dream. Usually it's not right. So the fact that I'm thinking I should go hide for several years doesn't mean that whatever's coming is going to last several years. But I don't know. Either way. Okay, July 20th, 96. I just returned from military service for the second time. We go to the city, and as we prepare to depart, so I'm going to the big city, to the airport. Next we go into a tall building. It's a modern one. As we leave, my sisters get ahead of me. Basically what happens is there's a sky dome here. I look at it and I see the tops of 3 tall buildings, taller than the modern glass-encased one that I'm in, but surely I'm below their peaks. I comment to another man, now we can see the demolition today. The middle building goes first. It seems to have the most ornate top of the 3. The demolition does not go as planned. Bricks and portions fall outside the expected range. This is frightening. I am concerned, but watch as the second building to my right is seized with explosions in its top levels. This miscoordination of the second effort is worse. A brick hurtles just past the glass dome above us. I reflexively duck down and yell something over my shoulder to the other guy. He's slightly overweight. A phenomenal wind comes up from behind the erupting structures. It lifts sections of a building 20 feet by 30 feet and smaller, basically all sizes, with some being very large sections, and hurtles them like rain in my direction. And I realize this is the wrath of God. We are knocked to the floor and as the building is punctured by the airborne projectiles. Okay, so then basically I go out to the street. There are a few others staggering about. One person is wearing yellow. We go down the street together, the heavy man and I. I turn and I ask him for a hug. I ask him, did you dream about this too? I realized at first sight of the streets that the end of the world had come, that for whatever reason I'd been on the list of survivors once again. I always survive in my dreams. I always live. Later, I'm holed up in a house or some type of concealed dwelling with 8 or 10 others. I decide to tell them my dreams. I call them all together. 2 refuse to assemble. My eyes well up as I stand before them. And here's a note from my dream book. Note, this dream is on July 20th, but I have no recorded dreams following this one until September 11th, 1996. So I received that dream about 9/11 on July 20th of 96. I had others prior to that. In fact, an amazing vision. But the next dream that I had was September 11th. And sometimes the Lord does stuff so you don't understand until afterward, but you understand that, yeah, the Lord is talking to us, and He wants us to understand that He's talking to us. And we can see that the Lord is still in charge. So His promises have not been erased. His promises are still for us. You can still trust in the promises of the Lord, in the power of the Word of God. This is the man from Modesto, reminding you as always to pray and seek God with all your heart, or be defeated.